Hello and welcome to our Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint. My name is Randy Cochrane. I'm the growth officer with Equity Real Estate, and I'm here today to share with you the Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint implementation. Now, this Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint actually started on July 1st. So we're actually into the sprint. This is our most downloaded ebook that we've ever published. It's available on our website, and that link is in the chat. I'm also going to repost it at the end of the webinar so that everybody can download it today. If you're not with us live, you're watching the replay of this on our YouTube channel, or you received an email from us, you'll be able to go to our website, go to tools and resources, and download that. As we jump into the sprint, this sprint and this time of year during the summertime is crucial for our businesses. And the reason why is we want to help everybody close one more transaction every single month through the end of the year. Now, if you haven't closed a transaction in the last month or two, or maybe you haven't even closed one this year, I'm glad that you're on this webinar because we're going to ramp up your business. And the the goal is just not more closed transactions, it's building a foundation for 2027. In real estate, you have to remember that everything that we do is really 60 to 90 days out. So even though we're in Q3 of the year, a lot of the transactions won't close until Q4, unless, of course, you have a cash buyer that can move really, really quickly. Our goal is to help you build relationships, create community, and continue to grow your business month after month after month. And a lot of times, agents take their foot off the gas pedal two different times of the year. The first time of the year is during the summer, and we get it. Kids are out of school, you're going on family vacations. I did the same thing that everybody else did with my business. And it's difficult when you're gone for a week or 2 weeks sometimes to come back and get momentum back in your business. And that's what we want to do is help you get momentum as quickly as possible. The second time that agents kind of take their foot off the gas pedal is right after Halloween. It's actually around November 15th. We call it pumpkin spice latte syndrome. And this is where agents uh, believe, for some reason, I don't know why, that nobody buys and sells during the holidays, which, looking back at my business, the number one income month that I've had in 26 years was actually a December. And I'm just going to give everybody a tip, and this is kind of a shameless plug for our upcoming webinar in September, and that is we want everybody to start working on your business planning in August and September. And on September 30th, at the end of September, you're going to hold a New Year's Eve party. You're going to invite your friends, your family. You can even invite clients, anybody that's on your top 50 list, and you're going to celebrate. You're going to have the balloons, you're going to have the party poppers, you're going to have the bubbles or the sparkling cider, however you celebrate. And then October 1st becomes New Year's Day. And if you treat the fourth quarter like the new year, you're going to have a 90-day head start on everybody. It's really interesting because agents take that time off between November 15th and January 15th, and then they go, oh my gosh, I've got to get back to work. My pipeline's empty. My income taxes for last year were due. And all of a sudden, we have this magical spring market in real estate, which is not true. What happens is just all the real estate agents have gone back to work and all the homes are starting to sell. And it's a cyclical cycle, and it's actually predictable. And right now we're in a phenomenal time in real estate. Uh, there's a lot of agents that have left the industry in the last year and a half, which means there's less competition for us. But also there's some exciting changes happening in the industry, and we'll talk about that today. So again, if you're just joining us, have a pen and notepad close by. Also in the chat, I posted the link to our resources on our website. You can download the Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint if you already don't have that downloaded. As we jump in today, and you download the ebook. This is an ebook you'll want to print off, and you'll also want to keep it with you all the time. Make sure that you're putting it in a three-ring binder, you're stapling it, you're clipping it, however you're going to carry it with you, because you're going to be referring to it every day throughout the sprint because it's going to keep you on track. That's one of the interesting things after coaching real estate agents now for about 26 years. Agents suffer from what we call drift and they get off track. And it's kind of like if you're driving in your car and your GPS is on, as soon as you make a wrong turn, it lets you know. However, if we don't have a GPS or a guide or a system, and remember anything that you do in your real estate business more than three times, you have to have a system behind it. And the acronym for system is save yourself time, energy, money. And the ebook and the guide and the step-by-step process or system is going to help you navigate that. I had a mentor a long, long time ago tell me that your ability to be successful in any business comes down to your ability to follow a system or instructions. Now, unfortunately, it's human nature to get what we call repetitious boredom. And oftentimes in our real estate business, things will be going really, really, really well. And then all of a sudden, the business stops, the pipeline's empty. And when that happens, and agents reach out to me and say, Randy, I don't know what's going on. That's the point in time where we go back to the basics and the fundamentals, but we also need to do an evaluation of what's really going on in your business. Anytime that somebody tells me that their real estate business is struggling, is the first thing that I do is I ask them to show me two things. The first thing that I ask them to show me is their calendar. Like I want to see their physical calendar, whether they're using Google, whether they're using Outlook, whether they're using a day timer. I want to see exactly what they're doing, exactly when they're doing it. The second thing I need to know is I need to know their numbers. How many phone calls are you making? How many appointments are you setting? How many of those appointments are you converting? Of the appointments that you convert into either a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement, how many of those buyers are purchasing home? How many of those listings are selling? And then once a transaction closes, how many referrals are you getting from that client? If we start to track your numbers, then your business starts to become predictable. And for those of you that are joining our webinar today, after the webinar, we're going to be sending an email out to you that's going to have a daily success habit tracker attached to it so that you know what to do in your business every single day. And also, we're going to send you the perfect week scheduler so that you can start to tackle your schedule and focus on income producing activities and not just busy work. Here's why the summer matters. And it actually, as real estate agents, gives us an opportunity to cheat. If you're in high school or college and you get caught cheating, you used to get in trouble. Now they don't do anything, right? I remember back when I was in high school, as a C student, I was the kid that walked up and down the radiators in the classroom because I couldn't sit in my seat. Those teacher parent conferences were not fun for my parents. However, anytime I was out of line, missed them all, she would grab a yardstick and smack me with it. So she was getting me back in line very, very quickly. If you get caught cheating in school, you might get reprimanded, you might get expelled. But as a real estate agent or a broker, if you cheat in your business, we get paid. And what we're going to do is share with everybody how to cheat. And summertime gives us an opportunity to cheat because summertime creates natural opportunities for us to participate in neighborhood events. Also, HOA meetings are typically happening during the summer months. Also, families are more active and engaged because kids are not in school, so they're more out and about. And then it gives you an opportunity to get more involved in communities. And we'll talk a little bit about community later on here in the webinar. And what your goal is to build relationships right now that fuel your business the rest of the year. And the more connection you have, the deeper the relationship that you have, the more opportunity that you're going to have to become referable. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet to be on one of our referral-based webinars on how to generate referrals for your business. You're going to be able to find that on our YouTube channel. I'll also post that in a link at the end. Everything that we provide to agents, it's free of charge. It's all online on our website and our YouTube channel. You just have to download it, implement it, and then if you have questions, you need to schedule on my calendar, and I'll make sure you have all my contact information at the end. Again, my name's Randy Cochrane. For those of you that just joined us, I'm the Chief Growth Officer with Equity Real Estate. This is why we win when we build those relationships that have depth. First of all, trust is your greatest marketing asset. If people don't trust you, they won't do business with you. People choose to work with professionals they know, like, and trust. And in today's market, trust is often the deciding factor between you and your competition. One of the things that I want to comment right here about when it comes to trust, though, is social media. And everybody as an agent needs to be very, very cautious about what they're posting on social media. You want to protect your image at all costs, and you want to avoid anything political or anything religious, regardless of how you feel or what you believe. And the reason why is somebody that you know might not have the same feeling or belief as you or an opinion. And that tends to eliminate or cancel trust because that person is thinking to themselves, this person that I knew, liked, and trust, we have a difference of belief or opinion. Therefore, I don't want to work with them. So be very, very cautious because we don't want you getting canceled. Also, referrals create momentum. Strong relationships naturally lead to referrals, repeat business, and introductions that expand your network without constantly chasing leads. And if you take out your cell phone right now, and if you have an iPhone, scroll to the very bottom of your contact list, and it'll tell you how many contacts you have in your iPhone. If you have an Android phone, there is an app called Contact to Excel, and you can download that app and you can export all of the contacts out of your cell phone onto an Excel spreadsheet. That will give you the total number of contacts in your phone, but it will also allow you to upload that into your CRM. And there's an interesting statistic out there: for every 100 people that you have in your cell phone or your CRM database, that equals 3 to 7 transactions per year. Over the course of the next 12 months, you're going to have at least 3 to 7 people either buy or sell real estate or know somebody else that is going to. So right there, if you just had 100 contacts, that's your extra 1 or 2 closed transactions a month between now and the end of the year. And remember, that's the goal. And depending on what your average price point is in your market, that could be some significant income. Right now, the average equity agent that closes a transaction after their broker fees paid is around $11,642. And of course, we're in 29 states. We vary in market price from state to state, but that's our overall average, and that continues to go up. It's amazing right now that a lot of agents, we can actually sell less real estate and make more money because of the price point. I remember clear back in 2006, even though the real estate market was booming, that year we closed 183 transactions, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of transactions. And yeah, it was, and it was a lot of work, but our average price point was only like $130,000, $140,000 back then. Now if we close that same amount of transactions, that's some pretty significant income. Also, memorable experiences matter. Clients may forget the details of the transaction, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And exceptional service creates lasting impressions. I'm going to recommend a book by Will Guidere, and it's called Unreasonable Hospitality. And Will Guidere owned the #1 restaurant in the whole world in New York City. And some of you are going, wait a minute, Randy, what does owning a restaurant have to do with real estate? And actually, the principles in the book have everything to do with real estate, because even though the restaurant might not have had the best food in the world. What they created in that restaurant was an experience. And they went above and beyond and did unreasonable things to make an impression so that when people left the restaurant, they told everybody that they knew about their experience. Disney, for example, they always talk about the magic of Disney. Magic of Disney is not luck. The magic of Disney is a plan. Like they know exactly what they're going to do to make a memorable experience at Disney. Now, when I think about Disney when my kids were young, the only thing I remember was ear infections and a lot of yelling and screaming. But that's what happens when we're parents. Now, my daughter Candace, she's with Equity. She's one of our branch managers. She oversees our Advantage branch in Sandy, Utah. There's about 300 agents in that branch, and she has a degree in fine arts. And one of the things that impresses me most about Candace is when somebody buys a home with her, because she's an amazing artist, one of the things that she does is she actually paints a watercolor of the home that they purchased, and then it's signed on the front by her, but on the back, on the inside, it has a message and it has the dates that they purchased the home, and then she is sending out those home anniversary cards every year and congratulating them and reminding them on the purchase and the experience. And every time those homeowners walk past that picture, hopefully it's hanging in a wonderful spot in the home that they purchased with her. It's just a reminder, not of the home, but it's a reminder of Candace and the experience. Also, community builds credibility. When you're consistently involved in your community, people begin to see you as a trusted resource rather than just another real estate professional. And between now and the end of the year, if you're not involved in community, go pick one or two or three nonprofit organizations where you can volunteer a couple or a few hours a month in those communities. I'm really passionate about three different communities in our market. One of them is called Ricochet Canyon, and it's a nonprofit that rehomes abused animals. My daughter Victoria works there. Her passion's animals and children, so she's helping the animals, but then she also gets the opportunity to do some really fun pony rides with the kids. The other nonprofit that I work with is called the Road Home in Utah. It's one of the oldest nonprofits in the whole state. And all I do is simply go in the evenings, a few times during the month, a little bit more if I'm available, and serve meals to the less fortunate. And then the third nonprofit that I participate with is a nonprofit called People Helping People. And its focus is helping single moms with children that need to gain full-time employment and housing. And the goal isn't just to get them gainfully employed. Once they're gainfully employed, it's to get them into home ownership. That way they can start to build equity and it's a place for their kids to grow up and more importantly, create valuable memories that they're going to remember the rest of their lives. So think about the communities that you want to participate in and the nonprofits, and then go give back. Uh, one of the things that you're going to hear us talk a lot about in our live events and our webinars and our videos on our YouTube channel is serve regardless of the opportunity. If you're giving, you'll receive tenfold. What we want to do is talk about your referral pipeline because even though we have those minimum 100 people, hopefully in our phone or our database, which is going to equal those 3 to 7 transactions. I mean, maybe you have 1,000 people, that's 30 to 70 transactions, cut that in half. Now you're at 15 to 35 transactions between now and the end of the year. But all those people in your phone or in your database should already know you. Now, social media is a little bit different because how many of you have somebody in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn that you're connected with that you've never actually met or talked to in person? And if they're posting all the time, you're liking what they post, they're showing up in your feed, go the extra mile and send them a private message that's meaningful, but then find a way to contact them and call them on the phone and connect. Or better yet, ask them to go out and have a cup of coffee or dinner or a beverage. Just deepen the relationship. Now, building a referral pipeline is not complicated, but it does require consistency. The most successful real estate professionals don't wait for referrals to happen. They intentionally nurture relationships with past clients, referral partners, and members of their community. And every conversation, every follow up, every event, and every check in is an opportunity to strengthen trust and stay top of mind. When you focus on serving people well and maintaining meaningful connections, referrals come naturally as a result of the relationship you've built. In the email that you received today after the webinar, we're going to get you that daily success habit tracker. We're going to get you your perfect week schedule, and we're going to get you the top 50 referral tracker that's going to go along with that. We're also going to be sending out to you an ebook that's also going to show you how to close more transactions, not just between now and the end of the year. It's more of an enhancement to the Sizzle and Sell because the Sizzle and Sell summertime sprint only goes through September 30th. On October 1st, when it's New Year's Day, we have a whole new program that's already built. It's already been implemented. We did it last year, and it's called Home for the Holidays. And you can implement that starting October 1st, and that will carry you through Q4. Right now, I want you to ask yourself some questions. And in giving a lot of live events, doing a lot of webinars, and coaching a lot of agents over the years, one of the things that I've learned is if I don't make somebody a little bit uncomfortable, sometimes I just simply haven't done my job. And here are the questions that we're going to ask. And we, as soon as the webinar is over, we want you to make a list. And the first question is, who are your top 10 referral sources today? Are they coming from a friend, a family member? Are they coming from a power team member that may be a vendor, like your mortgage broker, your handyman, your insurance agent? But where is your business coming from? Ironically, one of my very best referral sources has never ever bought or sold a home with me. It's just a family friend, and he sends me two or three referrals every single month because he's retired. All he does is hang out at the coffee shop and the golf course, and he just talks to everybody. And real estate comes up a lot because he owns a lot of real estate, and he just loves to send people to me, and I love to reward him when he does. And then how often are you intentionally staying in touch with your past clients? And this isn't just passive marketing. Passive marketing is going to be social media posts, it's going to be text messages, it's going to be emails. The type of active marketing that we're talking about is an actual phone call where you talk to somebody, not just leave a voicemail, or getting face to face and actually having that meaningful moment or conversation with somebody. I think we've all heard of a pop by through the Buffini organization. And it's great if you pop by and leave something for somebody, but if they don't answer the door and you left it on the porch, that's not really a meaningful moment. And a meaningful moment is actually connecting with them and doing something a little bit different. What you want to do is you want to customize meaningful moments to your person that you're talking to. If you know that they're allergic to nuts, don't take them cookies with nuts in them. So one of the things that we recommend that you do is before you reach out to anybody, look them up on social media and see what's going on in their life. That way you have an opportunity to talk to somebody about something that's relevant to them. Remember, it can't be about us. Everybody write down in your notes right now, FORD. That says Ford. And whenever you're talking to somebody, just remember the Ford dialogue: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. If you can just remember Ford and you just talk to the person about everything that's going on, tell me about your family, tell me about your job or your business, what's going on, what's exciting right now, what are you doing for recreation or fun, and then what are the dreams that you have? Where are you going on vacation? Have you ever thought about getting an income producing activity so that you don't have to work anymore and you still have income coming in? That Ford dialogue will help you carry conversations when you're talking to people. And then when was the last time you connected with a referral partner? If you take the information that we send you today in the ebook called 8651. There'll be a script in there. As you build out your top 50 tracker, you're going to be reaching out to your individuals that are on the tracker. There's a very specific script in there so that they know that you expect a minimum of one referral from them per year. And the way that the top 50 tracker works is if you put somebody on that tracker and they don't give you at least one referral in the next 12 months, you're going to remove them from that tracker and you're going to add somebody new on. There's also campaigns on the bottom tab where it's going to share with you exactly what you're doing when you reach out to them on a monthly basis, either what you're taking them to have a meaningful moment or what you're communicating with them. Of course, if you're still doing your online newsletters, you're still sending mail newsletters, you're still posting on social media, continue to do all those things. For example, Coca-Cola, they run television commercials, they have amazing branding, even their Coca-Cola trucks driving around all the time, which maybe you haven't even noticed those in your marketplace, but because I just flipped the reticular activator in your brain today, you're going to see probably three or four red Coca-Cola trucks driving around, and you're going to say, "Oh, gee, thanks, Randy. You made me notice the Coca-Cola trucks." So you want to have something that triggers them to think of you anytime real estate pops into their mind. So connect with those referral partners as soon as possible. Your goal after this webinar today, or if you watch this video replay on our YouTube channel, is to get one referral from somebody in your database within the next 72 hours. That's going to help you accelerate the Sizzle and Sell summertime sprint and get to that one closing per month every month before the end of the year. And remember, if you're already closing that, think double. If you've already closed two, try and close four a month. If you're closing five a month, close 10 a month. This is what we call our people first selling advantage. Listen first. We have two ears and one mouth. And the very best real estate professionals spend more time listening than talking. It's interesting when people start talking because we, as human beings, have an attention span of about 7 seconds, which is less than a goldfish. A goldfish has an 8 second attention span. People start talking, and what we're doing is in our mind, we're already thinking about the next thing that we're going to say or the answer we have, or even worse, we're just in a social situation and we're one-upping the person that we're having a conversation with, oh yeah, well, let me tell you about this, or let me tell you about me. If you want to put depth in your conversations, take you out of the equation altogether. And even though if you have an amazing experience or you've done something different or better or at a higher level, don't one up anybody. They need to remain the hero in the conversation. Also, understanding your client's goals, concerns, and motivations allows you to provide guidance that truly meets their needs. Right now, we have inventory staying on the market a little longer. Also, when we're working with buyers, even though there's inventory, there's still challenges in the marketplace. And there's some exciting changes coming up, like the capital gains tax going from 250,000 to 500,000 for a single individual and going from 500,000 to a million for a couple or a spouse or significant other. That's going to dramatically increase the real estate landscape because we have all of these property owners that have lived someplace for a long time and they don't want to sell their property and give their capital gains to the government. And making that change is going to create a mental shift where somebody goes, okay, well, I wasn't interested in selling a couple months ago, but I am interested in selling now. So that changes the communication and the conversation that we have with potential clients. And frankly, that is an excuse to call everybody in your database and say, hey, I have some really exciting news. Here's what's going on, and here's the advantages. It might not benefit you, but who do you know that it could benefit that I can reach out to and explain why it's a good time to sell a property or buy a property? Also, focus on people, not transactions. Remember earlier, I mentioned serve, not sell. Every transaction represents a person, a family, or a major life transition. When relationships come first, trust develops naturally and creates opportunities for long-term success. Because we're in real estate and we are used to doing real estate every day, we don't oftentimes put our shoes in the seller or the buyer situation. Oftentimes we don't remember how exciting, how invigorating, but also how stressful and how much anxiety that we get. And especially if it's a first-time home buyer or a buyer buying a home that maybe has some challenges financially or with their credit, where they put a property under contract and now they have the anxiety and the fear that, oh my gosh, the lender or the bank is not going to approve my loan and I'm going to miss out on the property that I'm emotionally invested in. Because you have to remember, once somebody writes an offer on a property or goes under contract, they've mentally purchased that property. They see themselves living in it. And there's nothing more crushing than a deal falling apart and the emotion that potential buyer goes through. I remember one of our clients absolutely in tears because a transaction fell apart and they were so emotionally invested. You want to build trust through consistency. And this is the key word in your real estate business. It is consistency. You could be brand new to real estate. You could have very little knowledge. You can have very little skills. But I would rather have somebody that is excited and motivated and on fire to go out and build a real estate business than somebody that's been in the business for 20 or 30 years that's lost all the motivation, all the excitement, and all the energy that just talks about how bad the market is and how nobody is buying and selling real estate. I'll take that new agent with enthusiasm over anybody. And the reason why is because excitement builds excitement and energy builds energy. And nobody wants to be around anybody with no excitement, no energy. Trust isn't built through promises, it's built through actions. Believe it or not, everybody that you know, your broker, your team leader, all the other agents in your office, your family members, everybody that you know on social media, they're watching every single thing you do. And if you're starting and stopping in your business all the time, it's very, very difficult to gain momentum. It's a lot like pushing a car that's run out of gas, especially if it's uphill. At first, you have to get at the back of the car and really push really, really hard. And then as soon as the car really starts moving a little bit and you start to get a little momentum, it rolls on its own. Finally, at some point, you just got your hand on the trunk or the back window and you're just walking behind the car and you're hardly pushing it at all. And that's the momentum that this Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint is going to give you as long as you follow the ebook and the guide to help you gain that momentum. Clear communication, reliability, and following through on commitments demonstrates professionalism and creates the kind of experience clients want to share with others. Highly recommend every single Friday, make that your follow-up Friday. If it's a buyer that you're working with, go out and pull a list of properties, even if they're on an automatic email or hot sheet. Also go to the for sale by owner websites. Also go outside your local MLS, go to mystatemls.com. That's the nationwide MLS that came out a couple years ago because oftentimes agents are posting properties there that they're not posting in your local MLS. It's a little bit like a scavenger hunt. Go out and find a property that meets exactly what your buyer is looking for. Pick up the phone, try and get two. We always try and get more than one property. Never show one home, always show two. That way they have something to compare it to. You're going to pick at least two properties, call them up and say, I don't know if you've seen this property online or not yet, but let's schedule an appointment and let's go look at these two properties today or tomorrow. If you don't get a buyer in a property and they can't see themselves living there, they're never going to buy it. So get them in your car or meet them at the property and show them. Also, if you have listings and the listing does not have a pending or an active offer that you're negotiating, every Friday you're going to pull all of the new comparable sales, all the new pending under contract, and all the new listed properties. You're going to contact your property owner in person, face to face, or have them meet with you on Zoom. Don't call them on the phone. It's hard for people to hide on Zoom or in person because we can see their body language. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through those new listings, those new pendings, and the new closed transactions, and you're going to provide them with an updated market analysis. You're also going to review all the feedback from all of the property tours and your open houses that you're doing from not just the real estate agents, because they don't pull any punches, believe me. They always say the price is too high. And then you also want the feedback from the buyers walking through. And then make adjustments to get that property in escrow within the next 7 days. At least get showings and generate an offer. The memorable moments that we create using our client experiences, and we talked about personal touches. We talked about that consistent communication, especially on follow-up Fridays. Also reaching out to our top 50 on a monthly basis. We want to make those lasting impressions. Handwritten thank you notes have more power than you can ever imagine because everything is all electronic now. Make it a goal to write 3 to 5 personal notes a day. One of the things that I do is I carry these rocks with me. This one says goals. I have them that say gratitude. I have them that say believe. I have them that say love. I have them that say joy. I carry rocks with me all the time, and especially those gratitude rocks. And anytime that I have an experience with somebody or I meet somebody and they're struggling and I have a deep, meaningful conversation with them, they get a rock from me. They also get a handshake or a hug. And I always leave them with something positive that's going to change or influence their life. Oftentimes, like we have no idea what people are going through. Anytime you talk to somebody and you say, "Hey, how's it going?" They go, "Oh, good," or "Yeah, it's great." If you really want to find out, follow up with the next question that says, "Is that true?" Because like I recently had a person that told me everything was going great. And then I said, "Is that true?" And she said, "No, it's actually horrible. I don't know where to live. I'm going through a divorce. I only have a part-time job. I can't qualify for a mortgage loan. And oh my gosh, 15 minutes later, I was giving her a rock and a big hug." And sometimes that's what people need. It had nothing to do with anybody buying or selling a home. It had everything to do with putting myself in their shoes and showing love, unconditional love. Also, make sure that you're celebrating people's birthdays. Really easy to do if they're in your database and you have their birthday scheduled in your database to send them a birthday card. Do that. Also, Facebook, birthdays every day. Wish them a message, not just in their feed. If they're in your phone, call them. I have a really, really good friend of mine. He used to be one of my business partners. His name's Cause. And every year, his birthday's on September 9th, mine's on September 15th. We exchange phone calls just about every year that we're both in the US. Both of us, unfortunately, travel a lot. But it's interesting because some years, those are the only times we ever talk to each other. Other times, we're just seeing each other on social media. So those phone calls become memorable because I know on my birthday, he's probably going to give me a call before my parents. Our goal right now, and we're going to talk about this in just 1 minute, is client appreciation events. We'll also, you want to be providing move-in and homeowner resource guides, whether it's somebody buying a home, buying new construction, selling a home, and preparing it to sell. All of those guides are available on our website. If you're an equity agent, you can go into Equity Elevate. They're also in the Marketing Center, and you can customize them to yourself. But you want to be definitely providing those as part of the client experience when they list or sell. But the most exciting thing I want to talk about today is summertime events that generate business. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing, it feels like community. Summer events create opportunities to strengthen relationships, connect with past clients or reconnect, and meet new people in a relaxed, authentic environment. We just held our client event. We had several of the agents in our offices participating. It was at a big water park here in Draper, Utah. We had over 1,000 people in that water park. They rented out the whole water park. We had a DJ, photos, dance contest, dump ping pong balls out of a big bucket with prizes. It was an amazing experience and a lot of fun for everybody. Now, that type of event takes some capital or some collateral. But there's a lot of other events that you can do very, very inexpensively. It could be something as simple as popsicles in the park with a little bit of music on your jam box. Think about doing not just one client event a quarter, go the extra mile and put a 100%, 110% effort in your business and host 5 client events a year. It's really easy right now because we can do a summertime event. And then we have October coming up. Remember, this gives us an opportunity to cheat because we can do a pumpkin patch. Also, we have Thanksgiving coming up, which gives you an opportunity to do a pie day or a pie giveaway. And it was really interesting. Last year, we had an agent that said, I'm on a budget. I can't afford to buy those big pies at Costco. And it was really funny. They went and got the little tiny pies. And on the message, it said, due to the current economy, we had to make a budget cut this year, but here's your pie. And so they actually took the little pie and made it very humorous. And the response from the clients was, I loved it because it was not only meaningful, but it was also kind of funny and humorous. So don't let your capital budget stop you from doing something creative. Also, do photos with Santa. Find a Santa, have them pop over. It could even be at your own home in front of your Christmas tree, or stop by their home with a Polaroid camera and take their photo and give it to them while you're there and give them a candy cane. Remember, it's the simple and sometimes the silliest things that we do that move the needle in your business. So set the goal, schedule your event. If you go to the tools and resources guide on our website, you can download the book on how to host a successful event that generates referrals. You can just download it. You can also watch the video replay on our YouTube channel for that particular webinar as well. Your 90-day summertime sprint and action plan, we're already in month 1. Reach out to those past clients. If you're just getting started today, you might have to double up to makeup before the end of the month. So just accelerate, reach out to those past clients, schedule a coffee meeting or a beverage or a snack or a dinner, appetizers. Don't spend a lot of money. Uh, I love restaurants with BOGOs, buy one, get one. Also, set up those apps on your phone, get those extra bonus giveaways that the restaurants, coffee shops, everybody sends out, and share those with others. Also, reconnect with your referral partners. These are the vendors that we work with every day. Remember, if you're giving somebody a referral, for example, a mortgage loan or a refinance or reverse mortgage, and you're giving that to your mortgage broker, if you give them one, they need to give you one back. It's a two-way street, not a one-way street in B2B and B2B business. Also, attend those community events. And if there's an HOA meeting coming up in your local community or marketplace, reach out to the HOA president. Say, can I have 10 minutes at the HOA meeting? And all I'm going to do is come in and talk about what's happening in our local market and community. Go to bestplaces.net, put in the zip code for that community, get all your data for free, and then talk about the school stats, the housing stats, the crime statistics, the average median price, the average median income of a home buyer, and also offer a complimentary market analysis to see what a person's home might be worth should they choose to sell, or remind them that when they get their property tax notice, because I just got mine here in Salt Lake this past week, that if they open up that envelope and they look at it and they go, there is no way my property is worth that much, that you're willing to provide them with a market analysis that they can use to go to the county and dispute their property taxes. Month number 2 is host that client appreciation event. Also support your local businesses. If you're doing a BOGO with somebody, or you just frankly have a restaurant that you love to go to, but they don't have a BOGO opportunity, go ask the restaurant owner, hey, if somebody comes in and spends $25 because they're in my sphere, will you give them an entree or a free dessert and let me make the coupon, let me give it to them, and will you honor that when they bring it in? If you're helping a business in your local community do more business, they're going to send you more business. Remember, serve regardless of the opportunity. And then share that community focused content on social media. Here's what's going on. Here's what's to look. Here's what you want to look out for. For example, in our market in Salt Lake City, Utah, we have a city called Midvale. Midvale has a $25,000 grant available for first-time home buyers. That would be a great opportunity to share on social media, but just don't do a post, do a video. Also, there's a city grant available as well, up to $15,000. I know our office in Las Vegas, they also have a $25,000 grant for first-time home buyers. Most cities and most counties have an exorbitant amount or an overage of funds right now because the home buyer market slowed down and they still have to have funds set aside for affordable housing and first-time home buyers. So reach out to your cities and counties, find out what grant programs are available. Also, check with your board of realtors. Ours has an American Dream Home Grant that's available. Your first-time home buyers in our market can go apply. They list the name of their agent. The last grant that they gave was $7,500 for a first-time home buyer. What you're doing is you're leveraging the cities, the counties, and the boards for marketing that's money that's not coming out of your pocket. So think about all of the creative things that you can do to get attraction or grips on anything that you're talking about. And oftentimes it doesn't have to be real estate related. The most social media engagement or posts that you're going to get is a post of a picture of you with your pet, whether it's a dog or a cat or a horse or a llama or a cow or a goat. It doesn't matter. If you're including pets in your social media posts, your views will dramatically increase because people love to see pets. They don't like to see us. Month number 3 is multiply. Ask for referrals naturally. And it's simply, will you do me a favor? If they already know, like, and trust you, if you ask for a favor, they're going to do the favor. If I ran out of gas in my car today, there's 10 people on my cell phone that I could call and say, hey, I just ran out of gas. Can you do me a favor? Can you drive over to the gas station? Can you buy a gas can? Can you put some gas and bring it to me? And I know that at least 10 people will drop what they're doing and bring it to me. And that's the type of relationship you want to build. If the person that would bring you gasoline is not on your top 50 list, they're the first person to go on. And then as you're strengthening your referral network and building that B2B business, start to include those individuals. The most powerful social media posts are not you posting and tagging people, it's other people posting and tagging you. And then you're going to create and implement your fall follow-up plan using the Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint and the Home for the Holidays program that we're going to introduce in October. It's going to be in September on the webinar, but it starts October 1st. And then your fall follow-up plan will be in place. You're going to ramp up through the fourth quarter of 2026. And our goal is to help you have the very best year in 2027 that you can have, but we need you to finish 2026 strong right now. Here's how equity supports your summertime sprint. And a lot of you are with equity. You already love being an equity agent. You already know about all the resources and tools that you get. But a lot of you attending today's webinar or are watching our YouTube channel, you're like, I have no idea who Equity Real Estate is. So simply go to equity.us, learn about our company, learn about our journey, and see why we're different than everybody else. There's 2 words that define what equity is. It's empowered freedom. And what that means is we empower real estate agents by giving them everything they need to be successful in their business. Websites, CRM, dot loop, E&O insurance, marketing, everything is done for you. All you have to do is implement it. But the freedom part is we give agents the freedom to build their business the way they want to build it, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial, whether it's property management, whether it's relocation, whether it's rentals. It's your business, your way, and we'll support you in whatever way you want to build your business, and that equals freedom. Now, also, Equity Real Estate is a set fee company. And what that means is you have predictable costs every time you close a transaction. And if your client is contributing the cost of doing business for your business, when you negotiated your compensation, then you're keeping 100% of the income that comes in. What that allows you to do, especially if you're on a split with the broker now, your broker oftentimes is taking the lion's share, or you're getting leads from like Zillow, Flex, and you're paying 30 to 50% of your commission to a third party company, and then you still have your broker split. That leaves very little capital to do anything other than just survive in your business. And if you want to take a look at equity, let's look at the income that you're making. Let's look at the commissions that you're earning, and let's simply compare it to where you would be with equity and being in a set fee, predictable cost business. Also, we're not a multi-level marketing company, but we do have a rev share program called eRewards where you can have income coming in whether you sell a home or not. We'd love to share that with you as well. Everything we've discussed today, from building stronger relationships and generating referrals to becoming a community connector, becomes easier when you have the right support system behind you. At Equity Real Estate, agents have access to our collaborative network, professionals, valuable training opportunities, mentorship, and a culture built around helping one another succeed. Instead of competing against each other, agents work together to share knowledge, referrals, and opportunities for growth. This is what we call competing without contempt. And the relationships you build with clients matter. The relationships that you build within your brokerage matter too. It's really interesting because I talk to real estate agents every day. And oftentimes, if they would make a move to equity, they could put another 20, 30, 40, or $50,000 in income in their pocket every single year. But they still don't make a change. And that's just because agents don't move because of money. One of the reasons why, if somebody could make a move and they could save $35,000 in a year and it makes monetary sense, people are not making that decision because of money. When I say to them, we can save you $35,000, what's stopping you from making a move? And their answer is usually, I love my broker or I love the agents in my office. And that's great because that's what our agents say too. But do you really love them enough to to not love your family more? Because at the end of the day, your family is the most important thing in your life. And it's the amount of not just the money, because money solves problems and allows you to make decisions based on what's right, not what you need to do, but it equals time. Time is worth more than money. And your family or your spouse or significant other, and if you don't have a spouse or significant other or kids, but you have pets, I guarantee they love you more than your work. And if you can spend more time doing the things that you love with the people that you love, it's worth more than money and it's going to create harmony in your life. And more importantly, joy. As we wrap up today's webinar, this is our serve regardless of opportunity offer for you. Make the summertime sprint commitment. The relationships you build this summer can create opportunities for years to come. Start small, stay consistent, and focus on serving others, and success will follow. After the webinar today, everybody that's joined us is going to be getting an email from me with all the things that I mentioned in the webinar today that I promised I would send you. Also, if you're watching a replay of this webinar on our YouTube channel, send me an email randy@equity-usa.net and request the support materials that go along with the Sizzle and Sell Summertime Sprint that you can download from our website underneath the resource section. And also there, that number on the screen is my cell phone number. I've had that same phone number since 1987. Yes, my first cell phone was in a bag and it was very expensive, but it was worth every penny. You're welcome to call me, text me. You can email me anytime, or if you scan that QR code, you can schedule a 15-minute phone call on my calendar, a 30-minute web meeting, or a 1 hour web meeting. It does not matter if you're with equity or not. My commitment is to you is we'll do a complimentary consultation business analysis of where you're at in your business. We'll identify the constraints and the roadblocks, and then we'll figure out the action plan on what you need to do to move your business forward. In the chat, for those of you that have joined us today, I just dropped the link to our resource material on our website, and I've also put the link for our YouTube channel. When you go to our YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe so as we're uploading new videos, you can take advantage of all of the complimentary and free resources and tools and training that we provide on a national basis. Thanks again for joining me today. I'm excited to hear about everybody's success from the summertime sprint. I'm going to be watching you on social media, and I want to see those posts. I want to see those videos. But more importantly, when you have success in your business, will you please just do me a favor? Will you send me an email and just share your success with me? We would love to highlight you either online or in one of our newsletters, especially if you're an agent with equity. Also, if you have an opportunity to get to one of our live events that are coming up, we do events all around the country that are live. You can also watch our event schedule for that. Come out and join us for a couple hours and let us help you take your business to the next level. Everybody be powerful, be productive, but most importantly, be safe out there. We'll see everybody in another upcoming webinar. Have a great day.